The day he opened his eyes, the darkness he carried. February 11th, 1847. In the small town of Milan, Ohio, inside a modest house, a child was born. His name was Thomas Alva Edison. On that day, no one could have imagined that this child would one day flood the world with light, and at the same time become a symbol of the darker side of science. But could you have imagined it? I am a photograph of Edison, created by the magician of this new world. But this photograph does not only carry a genius, it carries the ambition of an entire era. By 1877, only 12 years had passed since the end of the American Civil War. The country was still living under the shadow of war, and yet it was hungry. Hungry for more power, more speed, more control. And Edison emerged from exactly this moment. He was only 30 years old, and he told the world, "I can record the human voice, and I can play it back." The phonograph. Today, this may seem ordinary to everyone, but under the conditions of that time, this was almost a challenge to the laws of nature. People could imagine many things, but think about it. Trapping a voice, bringing it back to life and making it speak again. Isn't that unsettling? And this was what made Edison different from others. People weren't just amazed, they were disturbed. This situation pushed America into the formation of its Gilded Age. On one side, unimaginable wealth. On the other, ruthless poverty. This was not an age of heroic soldiers. It was the age of scientists, of inventors, and they had begun to assume the role of God. Edison became the golden child of this newly emerging world. But every golden age comes with a price. The promise of light and conscious deception, autumn of 1878. Edison invited a reporter from New York into his laboratory. What he wanted to show was clear, a light without flame, the electric bulb. This idea had fascinated inventors for a very long time, and it had led all of them to despair and failure. At that time, light itself was dangerous. Gas lamps caused suffocation. One wrong move could mean death. Because of this, what Edison said did not sound merely revolutionary. It sounded like salvation. But what do you think the truth was? Of course, the truth was that the light bulb did not work yet. 1 hour, maybe 2. It wasn't cheap, it wasn't durable, it wasn't useful at all. Edison knew this, and yet he still invited the reporter. Because for Edison, truth was made of minor details. What truly mattered to him was perception. The news exploded. Gas company stocks collapsed. Markets were shaken. People began to think, this man is changing the world. Edison was not just a scientist. He was a strategist, someone who understood, analyzed, and mastered the press, fear, and expectation. Science was not sacred to him. Science was power, obsession, the cost, and what he left behind. Edison liked to take pride in calling himself a self-made man, and that was true. He had received very little formal education. At just 13 years old, he was trying to sell newspapers on trains. With the money he earned in 2 days, he bought a library card and devoted himself to books. At a young age, he suffered hearing loss. A train conductor pulled him by the ears to punish him. In that moment, something burst. Even then, Edison refused despair and turned it into an advantage. "I hear very little," he said. "I think much better." That sentence summed up his refusal to quit. Everything was a tool to him, even people. At Menlo Park, he built an invention factory. He promised one invention every 10 days and a revolution every 6 months. His employees both admired him and feared him. Very long hours, exhausted bodies. But there was no stopping in his book. For Edison, failure was simply a process not yet completed. But these obsessions would come at a cost. His wife, Mary, his children. For Edison, family came second. Once he said, "My wife doesn't know how to invent." Do you think that was a joke? I believe it was a confession of the mindset of his time, the shadow behind the light. The light bulb finally illuminated its surroundings, but Edison was not satisfied with that, because what Edison wanted was not an invention, but an empire. Pearl Street, Manhattan. He built electricity as a system, generators, cables, fuses, meters. Everything that was built had to be known by his name. Do you think this was arrogance? But a series of problems stood in his way. Direct current, DC. It worked over short distances, but it would fill cities with coal, smoke, and polluted air. And then onto the stage of history, Nikola Tesla appeared. Alternating current, a sea more efficient, cheaper, belonging to the future. Tesla presented his ideas to Edison. Edison rejected them because they meant the one thing he hated most, losing control. Edison did not step back. He attacked. To make AC look dangerous, he supported the electric chair. In this process, people died, and they died in pain. But you understand Edison by now. For him, this was a battle for public opinion. In the end, he lost. In 1892, he was forced to step away from his own company. General Electric was born, but Edison was left outside this process. One day, he said, "I realized that I don't actually know very much about electricity, legacy, genius, or warning." The year Edison left the company was 1892. He was only 45 years old. For many people, this would have been a happy ending, the peak of a career. But for Edison, it was a disappearance. Officially, he said he was free. He would only invent now. There was no pressure from the business world. But was that really true? The world had moved on from Edison. When it came to electricity, systems were switching to AC. Cities were being lit by Westinghouse's infrastructure. And yet, when people looked at a light bulb, they still spoke one name: Edison. Because history, unfortunately, does not love the winning technologies. It loves the people who tell the better story. He left electricity behind, but he did not stop. Moving images, cinema, sound recordings, the music industry, mining, cement, batteries, rubber. He left his signature in every field. In some, he failed. In others, he left a mark. But in none of them was it as beautiful as that first light in Menlo Park, because the world was changing now. And so was Edison. As he aged, his voice grew quieter. He could barely hear anymore. Cameras filmed him walking through General Electric factories. He was looking at light bulbs, at the invention he himself had created. But his gaze was not one of victory. It was more like a reckoning. 1931. He had been born on February 11th. When he died 84 years later, the world did not fall into darkness. The lights did not go out. Cities did not stop. Life continued to flow more easily than before. Because Edison did not only make life easier, he changed the direction of science. Science became a spectacle, a marketing tool, a battlefield for power. Now let's come to the present day. When we look at today's technology companies, their product launches, their vision promises, their We are the future narratives. We see the spirit of Edison. That is why Edison is not just a scientist. He is also a warning for us. He showed this. Producing light is not the same as enlightening. Science may advance, technology may grow, but ethics is the most important thing we must protect. So what do you think? Does ethics still exist in our time?